Okay, what's up, guys? Game Fiend of all games here, back giving you another drama script this Saturday. And on this drama script this Saturday, I am just going to briefly go over notable moments on this past week's Raw and SmackDown, and also I'm going to give you the main event for Impact's Bound for Glory pay-per-view. If you guys don't know, Bound for Glory is their WrestleMania. But let's go start on Raw. I have some topics I want to go over. So the Brie Bellas came back, and they're back in ring competition, and they beat the Riot Squad, which that really doesn't sit well with me at all. And then Brie Bella had two horrible botched suicide dives where she could have easily broken her neck on both tries. So that concerns me a lot. So they've been wrestling all these years and still botching suicide dives. And they beat the Suicide Squad. But Riot Squad, sorry. They beat the Riot Squad. But yeah, so as we move on forward with Raw, Chad Gable and Bobby Roode beat the Extension from out of nowhere, and they really was no build up to this tag team between Chad and Roode. I'm just going to assume that they're going to somehow build their way up in the tag division, and then speaking of the tag division, later on in the night, Dolph and Drew wanted a tag title match. But the Revival was the next tag team in line, so Dolph and Drew take out the Revival, and then so since there is no more Revival, they take on the B team and they beat the B team. So now Dolph and Drew are the tag team champs, and Braun Strowman is the Monster in the Bank. So I'm just gonna assume after this Shield feud and the Strowman and Drew and Dolph feud is over, this is going to give something for Roode and Chad Gable to fight for against Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. That's the only thing that really makes sense to me. And then another notable event that happened on Raw is that Drake Maverick is now the manager of Authors of Pain. I don't know, how do we go from the manager of 205 Live being the manager of a tag team stable on Raw, but here we are. And then we had an HBK promo promoting his merchandise, and then he was also there to help promote the match between Undertaker and Triple H in the Australia pay-per-view, basically saying that Hunter has more left in the tank than Undertaker, and then magically Undertaker showed up, which that fucked everyone up, because no one had a clue that the Undertaker was going to appear, and he just basically stated facts that every time either Shawn Michaels or Triple H gets in the ring with the Undertaker comes out victorious most of the time, which is true. And then we had an in-ring segment with Bobby Lashley and Jinder Mahal, and then KO, who quit Raw last week, viciously attacked Bobby Lashley. So I'm assuming that's going to start a feud between Bobby Lashley and Kevin Owens for Hell in a Cell. I guess we'll find out reasons why Kevin Owens attacked Bobby Lashley next week on Raw. And then we get a sneak peek or like a thumbnail of Mick Foley's going to be on Raw next week, so we all love Mick Foley, so I'll be tuning in for that. And then Raw ends with Braun Strowman beating Finn Balor, and then the Shield coming out to jump Braun Strowman, and then for some odd reason the whole locker room attacks the Shield with no reason, no explanation whatsoever, which to me that's a very, very bad cliffhanger, because there really was no reason for the whole locker room to attack the Shield. I mean, one can say it's all revenge of what the Shield was doing when they first started, but 80% of the roster that's on Raw now is totally different from when the Shield first started. So doing all of this with very little explanation really doesn't make any sense to me. I guess this is one of those confusing cliffhangers to get the answer why, so we could all come back next Monday and figure out. But that's Raw. We're going to move it on to what happened on the Tuesday night SmackDown. The Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch promo was weird. It was like a split screen with one of them on opposite sides of each other, just talking back and forth with one another. And what started out as Becky Lynch being the heel, she's now the face again, and now Charlotte's the heel. When Charlotte started out as the face, it was very confusing. A very weird promo. Why this couldn't be an in the ring promo is beyond me, but that's just gonna lead up to their match at Hell in a Cell. Asuka returns to help Naomi, so good thing that Asuka is back. They do a big promo on Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton in Hell in a Cell, and it being that it's Jeff Hardy's first ever Hell in a Cell match, but Randy Orton has years of experience in Hell in a Cell, so it should be interesting what Jeff Hardy is able to do in the Hell in a Cell with his abilities. Samoa Joe cut a savage promo. He basically bluffed at the fact that he was going to go to AJ Styles' home in Atlanta to force AJ Styles to defend his family, to force him to go home, to actually indirectly be home and be a family man. But then lied and showed up on SmackDown. What also turned out that AJ never went home. He still was on the road, and he beat the shit out of Samoa Joe. So this is a very, very entertaining storyline, and I can't wait to see how it ends at Hell in a Cell. So Rusev Day wins a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match to face the Bar next week on SmackDown, and the winner of that gets to face the New Day at Hell in a Cell for the Tag Team Champs. I'm going to root for Rusev Day winning. Let's just hope they don't do anything where Aiden English fucks it up, and then it splits up Rusev Day, and then it's just the Bar versus the New Day all over again. R-Truth beats The Miz in the main event of SmackDown with a roll-up because The Miz got distracted. And then a big exclamation point or a big red flag for me is there was no Shinsuke Nakamura on SmackDown. And he also has no opponent for Hell in a Cell, and he's the United States champion. So I don't know what's up with that. I thought he was somehow magically going to be a triple threat match with Hardy and Orton, but apparently they don't care about it. That's a big red flag in my opinion. I feel that they should have something for Shinsuke going into Hell in a Cell, especially if he is the current U.S. champion. And on to Impact Wrestling. The main event for Bound for Glory is Austin Aries versus Johnny Impact, aka John Morrison. So there you have it. So yeah, that's this week's Drama Scripted Saturday. If you like what you have witnessed, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Share this video wherever you see this video. And until next Saturday, guys, I'm Game Fifi of all games. I'm out of here. Later and peace.